G'day mate and welcome back to Factorio with me, JD. First thing I want to do before we do anything else, start looking at some of the better tech we can now access now that we actually have our utility science. So, we're limited in what we've got currently, so I want to be a little bit particular with my choices. Very first thing I always recommend is grab the logistics system. Now, this gives you requester chests, which lets you pull things out of storage, intentionally out of storage, along with buffer chests, which will try and make sure the bots have a certain amount of things in a location, which is great if you've got a train station where you're pulling into and you want to pull stuff out of quickly. You can say, hey, I always want some ammo in here and some belts and this and that sort of stuff, and they should be there available for you. They're also still available in the network in case you need to build with those, not that ammo, but definitely those belts. It also has an active provider chest. Now, active provider chest is very, very dangerous. Anything that goes in that chest will go to storage, which is really, really handy if you want to come back to base and dump stuff in a hurry. Like you've been outposting, you've got 10,000 wood, you could pull in to the base and literally just put stuff in this chest. The bots will pick it up, they'll take it to storage. So they're the three chests I want. I'm going to get that first. The next thing I'm going to get is I'm going to get Military 4. The main reason I'm going to get this is I want a Power Armor Mark II. The Power Armor Mark II is a real step up in, again, personal power and personal combat. The other thing I'm going to need to run that is a portable fusion reactor. So it's a bigger, it's the only other step up when you've got for power armor, for power production. So you can see that puts out 750 kilowatts compared to, and takes up a 4x4 grid compared to our solar panels that do 30 kilowatts. So big difference. At least I think it's 30. It used to be 10. So that's going to be the first tech I'm going to be ticking off. As you can see, that's 200, that's 400. So we're up to 600, 750, 500. So it's like 1,250 science packs. So it's a fair bit of research. The other thing I want to do is we can see our yellow circuits now. We've got red belts out, are doing a lot better, but now we don't have enough iron coming in. So we're going to grab our upgrade planner again, and I'm just going to select from there down there and just upgrade all the belts. We're also going to upgrade the power poles at the same time by mistake, but that's fine. We want more green circuits. Okay, I also popped down another solar build. So if we click on power now, we can see that our solar's charging all the way up, and then has a massive drop. That's the point where all the accumulators are actually fully charged. This is what you want to see. If we look at our steam power, it's doing nothing. Steam is now officially, at this stage, been retired. We're not actually using it. So, back through our build further. So, these are up and running. We've got not a lot, too much, and not a lot. So obviously I need to get more cracking for our light oil to petroleum, because our light oil is still backed up, even with these extra guys we've popped on here. So find a bit of area. Here will do. I'm going to, again, copy this. Whoops. Rotate it. Plop it down there. No, I can't get... Ooh, if I cut that, slide it up a little bit further, then hopefully I should be able to get one more copy in. Voila. Now, I definitely do not want to have our light oil pipe here, or water pipe, whichever it is, accidentally mixed with this. So we're going to cut off the extras. I still got to get this to join up with that. So, yep. I'm not entirely sure which pipe's which. I'm also going to have to handcraft another 9 of those. Where are we? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. I really want to request gears. Gears. I'd like 200, please. Okay, so where were we? We have the bottom one. So the bottom one is light oil. And hopefully if I line... Nope. I'll have to bring it off this one. I'll just do a bit of a zigzag there. Okay, so that's light oil down to run these. Then we need water hooked up as well. Now, water I could potentially get from anywhere, but if possible, I want to keep to the same water line. I just put that around the wrong way, didn't I? Yep. So let's hook up our water line. Done. Turn on personal robots. No, I haven't. Oh! I just took off and boom. Yeah, these things don't take long to craft. Especially if you've got the prerequisites, which I now have some of them at least. Okay, so we got lots of light oil coming in. For some reason... Oh, I also need to hook up the output. That now seems very logical. We got water. Yep. Okay, so I need to have the output for the petroleum up to there should work. Hook that into there. Voila, we've got an output as well. We can see the liquid is mostly going upwards. And hopefully that will reduce this light oil tank down and increase the petroleum take up. Now, there have been people down in the comments, and I do and don't agree. You can ratio this out, and I can tell you off the top of my head, it is... Oh boy, no, I can't tell you off the top of my head. From memory, it's 8 refineries to 5... Oh, okay, so 8 refineries to 1 heavy to light to 7 light to petroleum, which would crack everything to petroleum. That is the correct ratio. In saying that, you don't really want the correct ratio because you are having some light oil being pulled off for... Some light oil, down here, being pulled off for solid fuel. I got really confused for a second. So some light oil being pulled off for solid fuel, which of course we need for science. Plus you've got some heavy oil being pulled off for lubricant, which of course you need for this, that, and everything else. Plus potentially flamethrower ammo. Plus, well, your sulfuric acid is a petroleum byproduct, and your plastic is a petroleum byproduct. So, you know, there is that to consider as well. So, yeah, you're not guaranteed that you want everything cracked to petroleum, but you do want potentially like all 3 tanks to have some sort of balance between them. And the way we've done that is with the smarts we've hooked up. We're making sure that our lubricant's full because we only use, lubricant's the only thing that comes from heavy oil. We've hooked up our flamethrower to just use both because it doesn't use that much, to be honest. And we've said that as long as there's a certain amount of, as long as there's more than 5,000 light oil, we'll then crack it to petroleum. And as you can see, this has come down. This has gone up slightly. It's going back down. It's going up. It'll keep doing that as different things switch on and off. So, first research is done. And the robots are still hard at work, I can see, because there's still things flashing on the map. We're actually not producing accumulators fast enough, funnily enough, which is a battery problem. As our acid problem solved, our acid problem is now solved. So I have a feeling I'm going to craft some more of those. And we're going to find somewhere to put down some more battery production. Go away, Cliffs. Okay, so I can take this blueprint from, say, there to there, reverse it, so it's using the exact same belt in the middle, hopefully line everything up and paste it in, and then it's just a case of getting acid to the other side of the pipe, which is really not that hard. I can even take that one and pop that there. Oh, sure, we'll put that one there as well. let's really squeeze things in. Okay. So, we're going to aim that belt that way. I'm going to take this down and then across. And then I'm actually going to bring it in on this side of the belt. You're missing inserter. We need power pels to run these inserters. That's done, that's done, that's done. So we just need acid, which, if I pop that there, I need that curved. We'll just put a little bit of a kink in the pipe. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so that's taking out acid. It's going up. It's going down. It seemed fairly happy. I might actually increase these guys to say 5,000. 5,000 seems a bit more of a reasonable number. And this guy's also going to be increased to 5,000. So it'll give us a little bit more acid and storage, and that's going up, so that's a good sign. And hopefully our battery production has been scaled up. Now I do have this here, which you can see I've hooked up. I've hooked up utility science. If we actually bring up our production list and we pick up batteries, we can see, well, we were producing this much, and then we've had obviously petroleum problems, but I've just doubled the build, and we can see we've gone from 330 per minute up to 480 per minute. Is that enough? Probably not. Is it a good start? Definitely. So, okay, I gotta remember. Oh, we researched these chests. So, now I actually have requested chests. I want to spend probably a good amount of time going through and recycling everything. I want to make sure my storage is just full of essentially nothing. Nothing would be the ideal amount of stuff I want stored. There will be always something in storage. But yeah, I want to make sure that essentially I'm storing absolutely no junk whatsoever. Also, our make everything. We made provisions to make that type, and that type. These are just manually capped to 1. You're not running. Why are you not running? Because that belt was 1 belt too short. Okay. So, let's go through and let's grab a stack of these requested chests, and we can actually start popping them down. So, we have belt recycling, which we've done previously using a storage chest and just filtering it, hoping for the best. I can actually pop this down instead. This is still capped to 50 in that chest, but now I can actually request these in, and I can say, hey, look, bring in 2,500 or 2,000. Same with belts. I can do belts. I want to request in 2,000. And that way, if there's any in storage, they're going to end up in this chest. If you remember the problem we had with wood, where it was in both locations, this forces the hand to make sure it always ends up here. We can see I have 6 construction robots in there. So obviously, I'd like to change that. We find out where our bot construction is. Engine, robots. So here, I would actually like a buffer chest. And so this is hard capped. I actually want to change this instead of say, hey, if there are more than... I'm going to say 150. So you can enable, if there's more than 150 in the logistics network. So that is, if we bring up this menu, right, it's this network. Okay, so it's not actually looking at this chest anymore, it's looking at the whole network. And I can now uncap that, and I can even request that any odd robots end up in this chest. Okay, so as you can see, there's 6 being delivered. Wow, all that research is finished. I want to do... the exact same thing with this one. I'm going to copy that order across and change it from that to that. I'm going to bring this up and say, hey, logistics bots, 500. And there are 18 being delivered. So there are random robots out there that have been isolated, lost from the network somehow. They're now going to end up in these buffer chests. Okay, so that's a nice change. We can do the same with engines right here. I want to have electric engines. Actually, just use a blue inserter. So I only need to request 50 because they're going to end up on the belt and they're going to get used pretty much straight away. But we can see straight away that, you know, there was 18 in storage doing who knows what. All these ones that I have had set up as storage should really be replaced with logi chests, because it guarantees things end up where they should be. Whereas the poor man's requested chest works, but it's not an ideal solution. We can do the same with standard engines right here. I'm also short on robot coverage, so we just throw down a roboport. What else do we have? Oh, copper cable. So copper cable is one of those things that ends up in storage with you building this and decommissioning this and doing all sorts of things. Red circuits. The bottom one is normally the one that's used first. So I'm going to come all the way down here. So the absolute last one, as you can see, this is the one that's actually active. I want to put down a requester chest and request in all the copper cable you can possibly find. Extend the robot port network out with a bit of power. Add a bit of power there, and we can see, hey, 39 is coming and being delivered. Great. Oh, look, there's even some in my inventory I don't want. Plastic. Like, there's lots of odd things that end up in the network that you possibly don't want in the network anymore. Okay, so that's that one. I need to handcraft that crap. That's going to take a while. Alright, this one, our storage chest, has worked up until now, but as you can see, I have 7.6k wood in storage, and only 4.5k of it is actually in this box. So, we're going to set this up. I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to set this to 4,800, which means it's going to fill up. I do have a second steam power that is currently not doing anything, so we want to do the exact same. I want one of these. Just, I shouldn't be handcrafting these. I should just be requesting. Wood. 4,800, please. Great. It's all being delivered now. Okay, so we want inserter, side load, bring that in there. We want input priority from the right, please, with a power connection. Okay, so that should then bring wood this way. Biggest problem we have is we haven't used 15 minutes ago. 15 minutes ago was the last time we actually used steam power because the solar's just expanded that much. Oh look, I've got one here for coal, so let's change that over. Obviously it works better at the end of the belt. Let's just put down a real power pole. Put that there, coal. I only need to request 50 because once that 50 is there, again, anything else that, you know, the 216 down the bottom right hand side. So the 216, 50 is going to end up in here, then I'll end up on the belt. The chest will be empty at that point. So then it'll bring another 50 across, which will then empty onto the belt, and then another 50 and another 50, and it'll get rid of it that way. Another thing I want to do is back to our make everything. We were using a storage chest here. I actually want I'm just going to 50 of these just to be done with it. And even though they're literally right here. No, not that one. That one. The bots are just going to fly down there, grab them, and bring them to me. But I want to do this one. This tier 1 assembler. So, same story. We just click that, drag that there. Set this to... where's the wire condition? I want to unwire that from the chest. And then I actually want to set this to the logistics network. 10. If there's less than 10 in the network, which won't work because that doesn't... This chest is not linked to the network. Okay, back to square one. Wire that up. Unhook that up. Set this up. Yep, so it needs to be wired. Requested chest. Once somebody goes in a requested chest, it's not on the network anymore. It's no longer counted, so it's something you have to be considerate of. I do want you. So a buffer chest. If you put something in a buffer chest, it's still technically in the network. So this is something I want to request in 800 of them because I have a whole lot in storage. This is set to 100. I just took some out by mistake. Because yeah, I don't want the slow inserters clogging up storage. I much prefer them down here. What else do we have in here? Oh, we've got ore. Okay, so I've got 1.2k green circuits. So let's go get rid of some green circuits. Again, the lower you are down the system, the more likely it is that they'll actually get used. No, I don't want to request that. Yeah, don't do that, please. Green circuits. And they'll just end up back in the bus, or back into the system. The other one was ore. There's a whole bunch of ore hanging around the network. So we've got stone. Stone can be right here. I just want to request a little bit of stone. Roboport. Right there. Iron ore. And another Roboport right there. Copper, there's a whole belt here dedicated to copper that's now looks like it's not actually doing anything. So let's get that up and running. What else do I have in there? I have a lot of plastic from looks of it. Oh, and the two different types of ammo. So we want to get ammo done as well. Now, if you use a requested chest, you can't get... The bots can't get the items back out of the requested chest. This is something very, very important you have to consider. So, for my ammo, I'm actually going to use a requested chest for yellow ammo. So I don't need it. And I'm going to request 9,600. Because that will absolutely fill the chest. Okay? And as you can see, it's no longer appearing in the logistics network. For our armor piercing ammo, I do want this available in the network. So I'm going to request just 200. 200 should be enough. And it should drain out of this chest as we run military science. Honestly, I already know for a fact that I've got enough AP ammo and standard ammo right here to just completely finish all the tech that there is. Do I want grenades? How many grenades do I have? 110. Okay, so it's probably okay. That shouldn't be in there. Alright, what else do we have in storage that's laying around? Plastic. We're going to go deal with plastic. A lot of that's being disappeared. The stone will disappear. The solid fuel won't disappear. So we're going to get rid of solid fuel. Plastic. Solid fuel and plastic. They're the two ones that are really still in storage and going nowhere. So, plastic. and solid fuel, which are both in the oil area. We're going to come to here. Same story, we're just going to put a belt on the end. Request a chest right there. You plastic in there. And, oh, really? The one tile I choose is the one that is outside range. So we'll just move it to the other side of the thing. And solid fuel, which is all the way down here. For ease, I'm going to fit it in that way, and we're just going to go solid fuel. Of course you're outside the network. Where we pull? Right there. Okay, so that's that going back into the bus and the system itself. It turns out I have some amount of robot frames. I don't know why I would have robot frames in the network. 9 times out of 10 is because I've made a mistake. But robot frames is one of those things that I probably am never going to accidentally put in the network again. So I'm going to literally pull them out manually. And I've got 2 choices. I can either run up to the utility science and put them in there, or I can put them in the output slots of this, and they'll just disappear off onto the belt and go to wherever they're required. Okay, research. So, we got a combat shotgun. We should really experiment with that. We got some piercing shotgun rounds, which require normal shotgun rounds. So you need iron and copper, and then you need steel and copper. So, you know what? I'm going to, right here, in the middle of the bus, I'm going to build shotgun shells, because I know I'm building this purely for demonstration purposes. And then we are never, ever, ever, ever going to use these again. But this is part of the point of this series, is for me to show you all the different wonderful things that we can make. Or do I just handcraft them? No, I've changed my mind. I'm just going to handcraft them. I'm out of steel. There we go. We're just going to handcraft those. Okay. The big power upgrade that I spoke of is a Power Armor Mark II, which requires level 2 speed modules with level 2 efficiency modules. So, and obviously I need to handcraft a few more of those. What do I need? More steel, I bet you. Yeah, steel. Steel! Okay, so I need to handcraft all that stuff, which is not the way to do it, to be honest. We are playing Factorio. It is all about the automation, and here I am busily handcrafting things. We can now see that our low density structures are definitely backing up on this belt. So our high-tech science is actually running at full speed. And actually now we upgraded those iron belts. Green circuits are now running at full speed, and we've backed up the whole belt. Batteries are doing better. It's still probably not fast enough. Oh no, it is feeding all the accumulators. Almost. Almost. Solar has been expanded again. Let's just grab this blueprint and change it to the one that's blank-ish. So then once that's built, I can actually deconstruct all the weird power that I had running through this area and replace it with a proper solar build. So yeah, once that's done, next episode, we're going to set up some automation to get some speed module 2s running, because it is something that I can handcraft. Handcrafting ammo is dreadfully slow, but handcrafting... I'm going to finish with the rocket launcher. Handcrafting the power armor literally takes, well, you can see there, it takes 18,000 seconds to handcraft one of those from scratch. even though we'd only be handcrafting half of it. The speed module 2s each are 350 seconds. The efficiency modules are the same, and we need 5 of them. It won't actually quite take that long because that's actually counting in handcrafting the green circuits to handcraft the red circuits to handcraft the green circuits to handcraft more red circuits to handcraft more processing units. It's a lot inflated, but the point still stands. It would take an hour and a half to just handcraft the speed modules and the efficiency modules, because we need a lot of them. We need 25 of each, not 5, 25. So yeah, we're going to set up some automation to do that in the next episode. And the other thing I want to do is want to get up to the uranium ore, and I keep trying to, and we just run out of time. So I'm going to end this here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. All right.